Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rumors of Heresy. My name is Zareth, and today I've got another battle report for you. Today is the first of 3 matches at a recent Rogue Trader tournament that I attended. I'm using Gladius Salamanders, and this time I'm facing Khorne Daemons with the upgraded and updated Bloodthirster, Be'lakor, Nurgle, Beasts of Nurgle, whatever they're called, and Scarbrand. Lots of new stuff. It's crazy, and let's get into it here, folks. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment to help that algorithm, guys. We're close to 1,000 viewers or subscribers. I would really appreciate it. So we're at a Rogue Trader tournament at Hobbytown. This is just a thing I pulled off of the internet. I did not take this photo, but I think it is the correct store. It looks like it, and it's a 30-person Rogue Trader tournament, folks. This is a lot of people. This is bigger than a lot of GTs are. It's crazy. Here's my army. Here, I'll turn my phase off for just a sec, just so you guys can see it. Sorry, it's a little bit disorganized. The third Predator is just from an old army that I painted a long time ago. It's actually from a Blood Angels army, believe it or not, back in 6th edition. It was all jump packs and Predators. That's all it was, like 6 Predators, including 3 Bale Predators, and a ton of jump infantry that you guys don't get to see. I still own that army though, and it's cool that it's in use now, even though it does kind of clash with the current paint scheme. By the way, folks, huge shout out to my painting guy for this army. You guys have probably noticed how lovely the army is that he's painted. I pay him to, he does such a good job. I'm constantly getting compliments, and I have to tell him, no, I'm not the guy who does it. It's a commission painter, and he is doing a deal right now where he'll paint a vehicle for you for $50, which is pretty nice. Really a good deal. An amazing deal, in fact. And you should give it a look, guys. I mean, we've all got things we need to do, and vehicles can be very time consuming, very challenging to paint, and for $50 he'll paint a vehicle for you, maybe more. If you just reach out to him, go to his Instagram page. It's going to be linked in the video description. Frog and Bear Studios, folks. Go check him out, and give him a ring. Hit him up, and he's $50 for this level of painting on vehicles. It's very nice, a really good deal. Please, guys, take advantage of this. Do yourselves a favor. It's you won't regret it. It's truly a great service. So, with that, let's jump back into it here, folks. Frog and Bear Studios in the video description. Okay, so this is my list. You guys have seen a few battle reports of it so far, and yeah, it's been doing well, but you never know how it's really gonna do, right? How a list is gonna do unless you take it to a competitive environment. So Salamanders with Gladius is kind of started off as kind of a joke, just because I needed to get my Marneus and all my Ultramarine characters completed painting, and so therefore we needed to use models that could be used to kind of practice using Gladius and stuff. So I thought I'd try Salamanders, and it's been working. It's been working so far, and I haven't lost yet. But you just never know. At a tournament, people take the game more seriously. You just don't know, and during practice, how your list is going to do, especially if it's going well. And so I wanted to try it, folks. This list has a lot of vehicles, a lot of just weird stuff that people don't understand or don't know the rules to, and it's been a lot of fun to play it, honestly. There's not like any overpowered unit or characters. They all just kind of work together to achieve a goal. It's great. It's like the definition of team or something. So let's go. We're facing Chaos Demons Blood Legion, which is the Khorne Legion or detachment, whatever you want to call it. And Be'lakor just got his rules improved. This is all using the new data slates, folks. It's all completely new. And Demon's got a huge boost, it looks like. Bloodthirster is just bonkers, as you'll see in this game. And I have another report that I'll be doing where if we see another Bloodthirster, they're crazy, guys. Scarbrand got a bunch of cool new things for him. There's Skulltaker. I don't know if he got a boost or not. This is the first time I've seen him being used, actually. And then my opponent has just a ton of foot soldiers, tons of Bloodletters, some Plague Bearers, a Beast of Nurgle, Blood Crushers, so much blood. Oh my gosh, the blood. This is madness. And Flesh Hounds. There's a Skull Cannon. I've never seen that. I think in my photos we have it listed as like a Demon Cannon. My bad. It shoots skulls though, folks. What madness. So let's jump into it, shall we? All right, here, folks. So we are going first. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. We've gone first with this army like every single time so far, so we don't know what it's like to go second, and I suppose it's good at a tournament to get to do what you have practiced a lot. So I still don't want to go first though. Really, we're just want to get into the middle, I guess. He's got a lot of big beasts. He kept some in reserves. I guess we'll look at that here, folks. Let's just jump into where all my stuff is. We've got a lot in reserves ourselves with Infernus, a Ballistus, Dreadnought, Predator Destructor, and then 10 jump pack intercessors are deep striking, and a Storm Speeder Hammer Strike is also deep striking. So lots of stuff that we can place on the board where and kind of when we want it. Vulkan is gonna be running, sprinting toward his objective right here where my arrow's going. And there's some Infernus in the corner there. They're kind of getting tucked into the middle there, ready to burninate the countryside. And then, of course, the Incursors and Scouts are just kind of our forward wave. They're kind of our vanguard, if you will, of just trying to make sure that our opponents can't get to where they want to be. And then, I mean, the Blade Guard, one thing that I'll point out right away, folks, is we didn't notice it until it was too late. But the terrain is placed a little bit off from what it should be in the back on my side, not on his side. It's like 1 inch out from, like closer in than it should be. So like the building I'm pointing at right here at the top left should be like 1 inch into the objective. So we didn't notice that until we'd already started playing, and of course it was too late by then, and so we just decided to keep going, but the terrain was a little bit off. Now, in reserves for my opponent, he kept two of his Bloodletter squads, including the one with Skulltaker, in reserves. Of course, they could deep strike if they want, and then he also has 2 units of 3 Blood Crushers, which are the big rhinoceros mounted guys. They're pretty cool guys. And then of course he's got Scarbrand, a Bloodthirster, Be'lakor, the Demon Cannon, the Skull Cannon, guys. It's a Skull Cannon, not a Demon Cannon, damn it all. And the Beast of Nurgle here, who gets Scout. He gets a Scout 6 now, so that means he can probably make it to the objective on turn 1. Let's see, the Flesh Hounds are here. They get uppy downy now, folks, as long as they're not engaged. And really, he doesn't have a ton of stuff. He does have 10 Bloodletters that we don't really see till toward the end of the game. They're just kind of camped out back here behind the wall. They are relevant, but they're just not seeable right now. So that's it, folks. That's the deployment. We get to go first. Woohoo! Once again, we get to go first. Yeah, yay. Okay, so lots of big demons here, and we have to go first. Here's the big thing on tackling this army is we got to kill our guys, and we got to be able to see them in order to kill them, because remember, Be'lakor has that aura that if the character or model is within 6 inches of him, they have a lone op of 18 inches. So that means we can't shoot them until we're within 18 inches, which is claw your eyeballs out range. They will absolutely murder us if we get that close, but we have to get that close in order for things to happen. And so the idea here is create too much ruckus and mayhem and nonsense for him to want to be able to deal with it. The thing is, he doesn't have anything that kills our vehicles reliably except for his big guys, and we have a ton of vehicles. We have a ton of vehicles that can go all over the board, and we don't want Be'lakor and all of those people hanging out in the center objective messing with us. We don't want that. We want everything to be crazy here. They're chaos. We have to embrace chaos ourselves, and so if we can make it so that there are too many fires to be stamped out by the demonic hooves of these Khorne demons, then maybe we can make something happen. Otherwise, they will just destroy everything. All those demons are really strong and will just rip the faces off any single unit that we have. So we go first, and Salamanders get engage on all fronts and no prisoners, which is they're not great. No priz, you want any other turn than turn 1, and engage on all fronts usually don't really have enough bandwidth to get into all the different quarters, so we're not going to score that much here. It kind of looks like it'd be pretty easy to score here, honestly, because all you got to do is move your tank right here and then shoot the Beast of Nurgle. The problem is the Beast of Nurgle is within 6 inches of Be'lakor, and Be'lakor hides it. I have to be within 18 inches to shoot the thing, so I don't actually have line of sight here, even though it kind of looks like I do. So the idea here, folks, is for secondaries, we just got to get over this line and into this table quarter. That should be easy enough. I suppose we could get the scouts into this table quarter, but we don't want to lose the scouts for nothing here, right? And we are playing with the rules where if they're camped out in the ruins, then we can stop them as long as we're 1 inch away from the wall. They can't charge us. That's the rules that are being used by the group that are going to be running the Rocky Mountain Open, and therefore that's what we can do. So the scouts can go here. The incursors can also hang out, and honestly, if we could just get on maybe we'll just get one person onto the center objective, see if they want to take the bait, if they want to throw one of their demons in there. I mean, we can also just reactive move out if we need to, but if they do kind of take the bait and come wander themselves in there, we have tons of stuff that can pop out and just lay waste to those demons. So otherwise, we're just trying to spread out, make sure that they can't do anything too crazy. This is, I think, the only photo in the whole lot that came out a little blurred, and only the salamander part of it. So because the terrain was kind of weird here in the bottom, I decided to start the impulsor in the corner here. So it advanced, it moved up, and it advanced toward the little pocket that it wants to get into. Typically, we want the impulsor to start like right over here, and then just move up and up this way. You can see the Predator did move up this way with the goal of eventually getting a good line of sight down this firing lane. And then you can also see, just barely, we got one of our tanks into this quarter. So we can see everything. I probably should have put the the moment onto the Beast of Nurgle, so that if the Beast of Nurgle moved in within range here, which it probably could have, this is after the scout move of the Beast of Nurgle, then the Predator could have just maybe overwatched and shot. Probably a waste of time and effort, though, to be honest. So anyways, you can see we put one scout onto the objective right here, and then the incursors and scouts just kind of combined to just hold off the forces of chaos from getting anywhere too crazy. And Vulkan's team is sprinting toward the objective. They'll get their next turn, and that should be good enough for our turn. I think we only score like 2, or we got raised banners for once. We scored 2. My opponent gets extend battle lines, which is super easy, and establish locust, which is also pretty easy if he wants to go in the middle. Doesn't really have anything to go in the middle with, though. So anyways, he's contemplating for a while, trying to figure out what he wants to do. And I'm like, dude, I really just hope they try to kill the tank. I just want him to go kill the tank. That would be the best. Like, I've kind of left him a little bit like he's across the line and threatening his objective, and he has to do something, because that Beast of Nurgle, unless he gets behind the wall, he's not going to be able to get on the objective and score. And so I ended up, the skull cannon can't kill this thing most likely, and so like what can they do? Are they going to try to kill the tank? Like, the tank is actually a pretty big threat at this point, and so he actually does take the bait in a more spectacular way than I had thought was possible. Like, he just had Be'lakor charge, which is great because now we can see all of his other stuff. And Be'lakor is just kind of alone here. So he killed the tank, and that sucks. He got onto the objective of the Beast of Nurgle, and that kind of sucks because the tank could have easily just killed the Beast of Nurgle, but now Be'lakor is out of supporting range of all of those demons. So in some ways this was good. He also didn't want to get very close to the center to do Locust, which might have been wise. I think the Blade Guard could have come out and chopped up whoever came too close, or maybe even just get some vehicles to be able to shoot it. Who really knows? But one way or another, Be'lakor is on his lonesome, and I guess that's a good thing. He did kill our tank though, which was sad. Of course it was. So he scored extend battle lines. He didn't want to get close enough to establish Locust, which is great for us. And so he goes ahead 6-3 going into turn 2. Well, he took the bait, and he didn't do anything to kill the scout that was on the objective. I was kind of leaving him as bait, and he didn't have a character that he wanted to put onto the objective, and so now we get to score that, which is huge because he gets to score at the end of the game on Linchpin, and Linchpin is so harsh for people who are going first. Second turn is way better. So pretty cool. I mean, I guess the one thing we have to keep in mind though is now we have to kill Be'lakor. Like, there's not really another option here. We have to kill Be'lakor, or we're a little bit, I don't know if sunk is the right word this early on. That sounds a little dramatic, but it is going to be a challenge. If we can't kill him, things are gonna get rough. So a few better of secondaries here. Secure No Man's Land is honestly amazing for what we're doing because he didn't threaten the center, and cleanse, we can just cleanse on the center, and there's not we could just like walk into getting 9 secondaries. This is really good. So yeah, here's the planning stage for this round here, folks. What do we want to do? We scored 13, guys. We got 5 over here, 5 over here, and then of course 3 on this one. Like, if we can keep getting that, obviously we're gonna do really well. I mean, just once in the game is really nice. So the idea here, folks, he's made it mostly so that we can't shoot any of these Khorne dudes, right? But he's got a Beast of Nurgle here, and he's got Be'lakor. Like, Be'lakor is kind of even just threatening. He can go through the wall. He could just go through here and hit the juicy center, guys. We gotta kill Be'lakor if at all possible. We gotta block Be'lakor from doing anything, and we want to kind of just make it so that he can't really afford to leave this objective alone. And honestly, if he just puts troops here, we can kill him with our vehicles. Like, the troops aren't going to do much, and our vehicles will just stomp through him pretty easily. So we want to keep his big guns, his big demon princes and stuff occupied over in his table quarter as long as possible. And then if he sends his if he sends anyone over into our table quarter, obviously we can hopefully deal with them. At least that's the plan. So with that in mind, so we got the ballistas out from the corner here. We deep struck the storm speeder right here. The ballistas is way out over here. The predators over here, and all so that we could shoot Be'lakor, folks. And indeed we did. We took him out. And I'll say this, folks, it's kind of embarrassing to admit it, but we gotta admit things, right? So I did the wrong target priority. So, like, none of my stuff could see any of his other stuff other than Be'lakor, except this predator could see into his juicy center, but I shot the predator first. For no reason that I can think of, the predator shot first. So instead, we could have killed the Beast of Nurgle pretty easily, I think. I mean, if we got lucky. Like, it's only toughness 9, and that It only has 7 wounds. We could kill it. We could kill it with the Predator, but instead, I shot this thing, and the Predator, it wasn't just the Predator. At the end of the day, I think this Ballistus Dread didn't even have something to shoot, because the Be'lakor was dead, and that was it. That's all she wrote. Glad to see Be'lakor die, but we could have also maybe bagged ourselves a Beast of Nurgle if I had been using my brain. So otherwise, I didn't want him to deep strike deep into my, into like our table quarter, my table quarter. So I put the other Infernus Marines right here, hoping to kind of screen him off from being able to deep strike into our table quarter. Like we just don't want him to be there. And then you can see the Infernus Marines are right here, and then scouts backed way out so that they could eventually go uppy downy and you know, get behind enemy lines or do something like that. And so I'll just tell you now, foreshadowing, they aren't able to do that. It gets a little bit hectic. Oh, and the other thing is he did rapid ingress a squad of Bloodletters. You can see the red arrow there. And he put them right there across, just across the way from our objective here in the middle, so that they could come and take it from me. The Incursors also did just come and step on the objective again, just hoping he wouldn't want the objective again and maybe we score a second time. But he does have Bloodletters here. They're going to be threatening. It's a little bit scary. And so for his turn, he gets marked for death and cleanse. We got cleanse too, by the way. That was the other reason we were on there, was to clean off that objective in the center. So anyways, he's still parked there. Be'lakor is gone, and all the Khorne demons are happy because they only want Khorne demons there anyways. They were like, well, who the hell hired Be'lakor to hang out with us today? The Bloodthirster decided to come in and just destroy the Storm Speeder and Ballistus at the same time. Guys, it was so crazy, actually. I was very impressed by it. He comes in, swings one swing at the Storm Speeder, does a little damage, not too much, and then just obliterates the Ballistus. Not even close. The poor Ballistus is just gone. He's dead. Just no hope for the old Ballistus here. The crazy thing was, then I was like, okay, well, at least the Storm is still alive with like 6 wounds left, something like that. And then he has this new ability where he just rolls 8 dice, and on a 4-up, I take a mortal wound, and he rolled 6 of them, and the speeder just died from mortal wounds, as just like an afterthought from the Bloodthirster. Just such a crazy ability. What the hell, dude? I couldn't believe it. So he did that. He also charged in with the Bloodletters, killed the Incursors like easily. I mean, there wasn't much chance. And then they just consolidated into the Impulsor. So good for them, I guess. And it's a little scary trying to get out of melee with the Demons, because they have things they can do to make awesome things happen for them. So let's see, on the bottom here, Scarbrand comes in and ruins the Predator that was there, so that's pretty sad. And then he did also deep strike his Blood Crushers and charged the Ballistus Dread, doing like 3 or 4 damage to the Ballistus, which was very sad. And the Ballistus, of course, kicked back to no avail. And so it was a pretty good go turn for him. He killed 3 vehicles, which, I mean, that hurts, that stings, right? And he's in my face as expected, but also awesomely, Scarbrand is way back here. He's not applying pressure up where I don't want him. I want to fight 2 or 1 of his big creatures at a time if possible, and he's kind of letting me do that, which is great. He scored Cleanse for 1 with his Beast of Nurgle and turned Marked for Death into CP, so that was good. And because we scored 13, we took the lead 25-17 going into the next round. So we got to do a lot of things this round, and we have to be very careful about it. He's all over the board, which is what we kind of wanted, right? To begin with, that's a good thing. And those blood crushers going back to fight my Ballistus, and Skull Taker, or whatever his name is, Scarbrand. Skull Taker isn't here yet. Scarbrand is fighting that he killed the Predator. We lost all sorts of vehicles. That sucks that we lost the vehicles, but we still have a lot of firepower here. And he's got blood letters. The big thing is, he has a blood surge, folks. So if we hit one of his Khorne units and do damage to it, I don't even know if we have to do damage to it. They can do a D6 move in the direction of their closest opponent and get into engagement range if possible. So we have to be really cautious. He also has an ability to, if I fall back from melee, from engagement range, he can actually just charge me again with his blood letters. And so the Impulsor needs to be real cautious here. We got to be cautious on a lot of levels. So we're gonna get the Blade Guard out, and they got to go kill or at least confront that Bloodthirster. But it can't just be allowed to rampage through our lines. And then we've got to kill the Bloodletters. That's our biggest two priorities here. All right, area denial and containment, which he's got his Bloodthirster and that squad of Bloodletters on there. So it's a little bit scary, but we can probably do it, maybe, perhaps. I'm not totally sure, but yeah, that's the goal, at least, is to take out the Bloodthirster and the Bloodletters. Couple things we've got to do, of course. We got to make sure that they can't. I've got to fall back with the Impulsor, and that's fine. We get to fall back. We got to get the Blade Guard out first. So the Blade Guard have to be 6 inches or like 7 inches away from the Bloodletters or from the Bloodthirster, because they have a blood surge move. If we shoot either of these squads, they can roll a d6 on whatever that dice roll is. They can move that much and potentially get into melee with us, into engagement range, and we don't want that. So the Blade Guard have to be careful. They have to stay 7 inches away, basically, from both of them. The goal for the Blade Guard, of course, is to get over here and just charge the Bloodthirster. That's all they care about. They just want to charge the Bloodthirster. They'll let everyone else kill and barbecue the Bloodletters. The other thing, though, is if we're going to fall back, we have to fall back over 6 inches so that the Bloodletters can use a stratagem to just charge again after I've fallen back away from them. And so I've got to get 6 inches away, if at all possible. You can see the poor scouts wanted to go uppy downy. They weren't allowed to because of the Bloodletters. Those assholes. So here's this quick snapshot of things that might have happened here. You can see on the bottom that the least important combat, that there's the Blood Crushers. One of them died. Yay, we shot one with the Ballistus. He shot them, or maybe he kicked them, but probably he shot them. So that was cool. Now, you can see the Bloodletters and the Bloodthirster did actually both die. And the reasons for that are multitudinous. Simple, yet multitudinous. He can't... his Bloodletters are all just hanging out here, and I think it only took one squad of Infernus Marines to burninate them and kill them, so that was cool. And I think I got one tank to be able to shoot. I only have like one tank left to be able to shoot the Bloodthirster, and then I threw a grenade at it, and then I charged the Blade Guard. They're just pretty awesome, guys. They killed that Bloodthirster so good. It was gross. Oh yeah, the Infernus Marines are wounding the Bloodletters on 3s, and let's see. So Vulkan was in range to give them the Forge Father target, so I get rerolls to wound, and so the Infernus are wounding on 3s with rerolls. So that was pretty cool. Took both of them out pretty well, and got containment and everything. It was great. One other thing that I don't have photo of. Oh, I think it happened during his turn, so we'll talk about that in just a minute. So, and anyways, we got area denial, which is great. We got all these kills. You can see the Impulsor is over 6 inches away from where those bloodletters are, and things are looking okay. At least he still has some blood crushers and some bloodletters to come in, which we'll talk about here during his turn. So he's got behind enemy lines and defense stronghold. Behind enemy lines is pretty good for demons if they can deep strike and stuff. So a lot of things, guys, and I don't have a photo for this one, unfortunately. I just I think that's the only one I missed. But so what ends up happening, he wants his Scarbrand to come up here, and he rolls a 6 for his advance. And remember, he's got advance in charge now. So, and he's got 10-inch move. So he moves 16 inches up, which is just enough to like be within 9 inches of the blade guard. So, like a dummy, I do my reactive move. I'm in tactical doctrine, and so I get a full 6 inches guaranteed. I don't have to roll it. So they move away. But not like some of them, like they kind of just go back into this corner, but a few of them stay on the objective. I'm like, well, we want to hold the objective, right? Like, it's probably wise to stay on the objective. Forgetting that he can just deep strike some bloodletters in and be able to just charge on an 8 with a reroll. He's got plenty of CP. He can reroll to charge on an 8 and get into the bloodletter, or into the blade guard. So I forgot about that, and that's exactly what happens. So Scarbrand isn't able to charge or anything. He's too far away. But, and you can see my intercessors here, after getting this thing sticky, they just want to get out of there. They want to protect it and, you know, be like in range to do stuff on the objective, but they don't want to be on the objective for any reason. So Scarbrand can't do anything. Bloodletters come in right here, and they charge the blade guard, and they kill all but one. They kill so Adrax and one blade guard are all that's left, and I decided to keep Adrax and his friend away from the rest of the bloodletters. The bloodletters are over here, and Adrax and fellow, they just don't walk into melee and start chopping. Instead, I was like, you know what? Let's just leave them there. And the bloodletters can just sit on the objective and hopefully be roasted by Infernus Marines next turn. And so the other thing that happened in this turn, folks, you can't really see it, but you can't because you can't. So here's something really huge that happened, folks, and I wish I had a photo of it. He deep struck his blood crushers right here and onto the objective, somewhere like right here, so that he couldn't land onto the objective. But what he could do is get an 8-inch charge into the intercessors to be able to get onto the objective and therefore hold my home objective, which was diabolical and really scary. So what I ended up doing, because I still have my jump intercessors, I heroically intervened them, or not heroic intervene yet, I rapid ingress them right here, right behind the intercessors. So when the blood crushers charged, they got it on an 8. Like, my opponent never failed a charge the whole game. He didn't fail a charge, even a really long charge. And so the blood crushers get in, and they get into the intercessors, and then the jump intercessors right behind them. I have enough CP to heroic intervene and give them lance, so they're wounding on 4s, which isn't amazing, but they also get all of their impact hits, which they managed to get a decent sized charge roll. So they got all of those. And between them and the leftover intercessors, managed to wipe that 3-man blood crusher squad all the way out, completely out. Just the impact hits killed 1.5 of the blood crushers, and then I only had to do 5 more wounds to the other 2, and 6 more wounds, whatever it was, to the other 2, and with lance and everything. I mean, it cost a lot of CP, but we wiped it out, and we held the objective. So we've got jump intercessors like on the objective here. We've got bloodletters on this objective here. We've got Scarbrand right here threatening both objectives, and going into turn 4, it's just a scary time. We did manage to get containment and area denial for full banners on each, which was fan-friggin-tastic, of course. And so I get recover assets and sabotage, which are tough ones to get, but we can do them. We can do them because it's table quarters. We can do everything in our table quarter. For the baby one, like we have enough action monkeys still around to be able to do stuff. So, anyways, remember, Skarbrand's up here. He's got Skulltaker and the Bloodletters in the middle here. Two Blade Guard are right here, just outside the action. And we only have a couple Intercessors left, and we have a full 10-man Jump Intercessor Squad hanging out on the objective nearby. Kind of anticipating what's going to happen. We have to keep Skarbrand away from the objective, and we got to kill those Bloodletters, or the Bloodletters will kill us. So here's a snapshot of what happened. Up here, you can see the Blade Guard just kind of hung out there, just stood there and waited while the Infernus, who the Infernus were up here anyways, like there was one squad of Infernus here, one squad of Infernus here, they all just kind of clumped here. You can see there's two separate squads here. One squad is just kind of shielding the other squad. And so anyways, we're wounding the Bloodletters on, well, the Bloodletters were the ones with the moment, because they because we can't kill Skarbrand, right? Like we just can't kill Skarbrand. We don't want to threaten him. And so because we have the Combi Lieutenant objective right here, we're wounding, we have the moment, so it's +1 to wound. So 2s to wound, and we re-roll 1s anyways, even though Vulkan can't see the Bloodletters, even though we kind of tried to, I don't think he could. And so the Infernus Marines just roasted the Bloodletters, and they died. Skulltaker was left alive. The Blade Guard charged in, and instead of Adrax and having his skull taken, we took Skulltaker's skull, which I thought was ironic and fitting. Over here you can see the poor Intercessors. They passed their battle shock, so they're brave. And then the big thing is, guys, Skarbrand, look at his wings. They're not serviceable. They don't work. They got scorched by Khorne because he's kind of a dick. Both Skarbrand and Khorne. And so he can't use his wings. He's not a flying beast. He's very fast. But we're in turn 4, and we have to think about scoring and what that's going to look like. We don't want him to take this center objective. We really, really don't want him to our home objective, because all our other objectives stop being worth points. So this is worth 3, and then the other ones are worth 2 less each if we're holding them, but don't hold our home objective. And so the only thing we can do, really, we have to stop Skarbrand from going through the wall, which he has a strat for, and getting this objective. We're just going to move all of our Jump Intercessors right here into blocking him, so that if he wipes the whole squad on his own, then he'll be able to just walk onto the objective. But his sweep attack is only it's only 17 attacks. It's a lot of attacks. It's only AP 2. So if we do Armor of Contempt on this squad, then they'll be saving on 4s, and like math-wise, we probably have a few that live. And even though that means we have to have our Power Fist Sergeant be the first one to die, at least Skarbrand is now going to be able to get onto our objective, in theory, if he doesn't wipe the whole squad, which is a big if, of course. So that's what the board looked like at the end. Skulltaker had his skull taken. Skarbrand is hopefully being blocked by the Jump Intercessors, and this Ballistus will eventually hopefully kill this Rhino dude, the Blood Crusher, the final remaining Blood Crusher. Remember, guys, waiting in the wings, he's got more Bloodletters here. I don't remember if he uses them right away or not. I think next turn he does. He gets area denial and engage on all fronts, so he can take the center, engage on all fronts. He can also score if he's careful. Now he wants to take Skarbrand up here and get onto the objective. There's no question. Of course, he would just go through the wall if we hadn't physically screened him from doing that. However, he also wants to take the center objective, and at first, I think he got it kind of twisted a little bit. I think he wanted to take the center, but so he marched his Bloodletters out here initially, and they got a good advance. He can advance and charge if he wants. He has to pay a CP, but he can do it. So he's going to do that. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll Overwatch with the Infernus squad, right? Like, we'll probably roast most of them. And he's like, oh, no, actually, I don't want to do that. That's totally fine. I let people take things back all the time. Hopefully they let me take things back too. Even though we're playing in a tournament, we don't have to be dicks to each other, right? We can be kind of considerate to each other. So instead he goes right here behind this cereal box thing, like this ruins thing, stopping line of sight, and I'm like, sure, like he'll charge the Infernus and we'll just be good to go because we want to hold that middle objective. Of course we do. So that's exactly what happens. He moves his bloodletters here, charges the Infernus. The shield, the Infernus squad that was shielding the other Infernus squad took the majority of the hits, and they just died. They all died, and he ended up getting a couple bloodletters into the smaller Infernus squad, killing a couple more, but the rest of them stayed alive, which was great because it stopped him from getting engaged on all fronts. And he also, those Infernus were placed in such a way that he couldn't actually get onto that center objective. So he had to decide, what did he want to do with Scarbrand? Like, he could take, I kind of think maybe he should have tried taking the center objective, because then he could have area denial at least, but he really wanted to take the home objective, and so that's where he went. He tried to kill them all, of course, with Armor of Contempt and everything. At the end of the day, 17 attacks were not quite enough to kill all of the jump intercessors. The Sergeant, of course, died a very sad, lonesome death, but the rest of them lived, and, well, like 4 of them lived. And that was basically it, because now I'll be able to score this objective because it's stickied from those intercessors from turn 1, and he hasn't turned off the sticky from it yet. And so even if the jump intercessors failed their battle shock test, they'll still be good to go. And that's basically it, folks. The Blood Crusher ran away bravely, and the Beast of Nurgle charged the Ballistus Dread. That's fine. And that was basically it. That's all she wrote. We did take a turn 5, of course. I'm totally out of CP at this point, but I did score the small sabotage and the small recover assets, and he only got engaged on all fronts. He didn't get area denial, which was pretty big, because we already had a lot of points here. So there's the assassination and establish locus. I mean, we could kill Scarbrand, potentially establish a locus. Of course, Scarbrand, I tried to throw grenades at him twice, actually, and both times I rolled 1 out of 6 for wounds on him, so I did get him down to like 12 hit points left or whatever, but I mean, I could do Tactical Doctrine on these guys, fall back, shoot, charge, and get some more mortals on him, but at the end of the day, we decided to, I killed all of the bloodletters here. And then for his turn, he could get on the objective or whatever, and we just kind of like, you know, you're not kind of supposed to do this, I guess. TOs don't like it, but I mean, the game wasn't in question at this point, right? 71 to 38. So we just kind of talked through what he could have gotten. He ended up saying that there was no way he could get more than a 62. Even if we were very kind. I kind of think we could have gotten him more than that, but he insisted. He just wanted a 62. So 83, I think that's what I reported it. Of course, you can see here, I had him marked as 63. I don't think he cared that much, frankly. I wasn't trying to short him points or anything, but he was like, well, even if we're really super generous about what things I could get, like 62 is the most I could get. So if you check the BCP online, I think it says 62, but one way or another, really good game. One of my favorite opponents to play against. Really nice guy, and gosh, a lot of scary models. It ended up going well, but gosh, scary game. Let's see. Hold on. Well, that game was kind of a mess, honestly. I mean, the plan mostly worked. He spread his forces out, which is what the goal was, right? Like, he didn't have enough guys available on the board initially to really threaten the center or anything, so we had to use his big guys to work on stuff, and I think that ultimately, and this isn't me being rude or like trying to be whatever judgy about my opponent, of course, just as far as analytical whatever goes, like, he needed more stuff to mess with me in the center instead of like, I could just kind of force him. If he wanted to get in the middle, we could force him to sacrifice a big target, which he didn't want to do. And so when I put someone on the objective, he couldn't do anything because he didn't want his big stuff to die right away, which is understandable. But if he had just had a squad of bloodletters available to charge in and mess with my stuff in the middle, it would have been way different because those guys are expendable. So, I mean, I think that's a lesson we could all learn. He had stuff in reserves and stuff, like a squad of blood crushers just rhinocerosing their way in would have just changed the whole match at the very start. Instead, we were able to score early on, and it worked out. Let's see. Apparently, this is the same slide. All right, I messed up on that, but it was still a huge mess. And that Ballista's dreadnought in the back there, that poor guy. Gosh, what a mess for him. The Infernus ended up just hosing down 2 bloodletter squads, and also kept him from getting onto the center objective there on turn 4 or 5, and that was huge. Infernus Marines, as you'll see, guys, they're kind of the champions of the whole thing, the whole tournament, guys. I'm not gonna say how I did in the tournament, but I will say they were very useful. My next match is against Orcs, so we're gonna watch those Infernus Marines with great interest, right? Right. So, final news? Okay, so we're potentially going to a GT in Albuquerque, New Mexico, folks, in less than a month. We'll see how it goes. It's a $1,000 grand prize. It's only 32 players. There's only like 3 people signed up right now. I don't really know. Like, if it's 3 players, even if they promised $1,000, I doubt that they're actually gonna fork it over if I go in and be like, oh, hey, I killed 2 guys. I beat 2 people. I win. Like, I don't know. I'm guessing more people show up, but I'm considering going to that as the April GT that I want to go to. So I guess stay tuned. Otherwise, we got the Rocky Mountain Open at the end of this week. I'm trying to get all these reports out before Rocky Mountain Open happens. So wish me luck, folks. It's going to be great. I'm going to take off, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember, if you didn't hear it from me, it's probably heresy. Take care, folks.